Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video, it is Solo Sunday, and we're going to take a look at the game Atlantic Sentinels by doing some gameplay here. As I said, this is Atlantic Sentinels, North Atlantic Convoy Escort, 1942 to 43. This is a solitaire naval game by Gregory M. Smith, as you can see. On the rule book I have here in the shot, this is published by Compass Games, and is basically the flip side of the coin of the game The Hunters, where you're playing as the U-boats, and you can join this game with that game as a two-player game and have someone play the submarine side while the other person plays the escort side. So that will do it for our introduction here, and now let me get this thing set up and we'll get underway. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is roll to see what escort group we have. I roll a 10-sided die. I get a 2 and a 2. This is in the rule book in section 4.1. We do have the cards here that are provided with the game. We are on step 1, select your escort group, and that denotes where in the rule book it is. I won't show you all the whole list because I'm trying to keep this tight and short. Escort group 2, or a die roll of 2, gives us escort group B2. It's 7 ships. The H-class destroyer Hesperus with Town-class destroyer Leamington, V-class destroyer Veteran, and Flower-class corvettes Clematis, Gentian, Sweetbriar, and Vervain. Okay, so our next step is to prepare our convoy log sheet. I will do that off camera. Then we will set up our escort group display mat. That is this guy right here. And then I will place our escort group marker in either St. John's or Londonderry. British start at Londonderry, Canadians at St. John's. B2 is it's a British group, so we will be starting in Londonderry, right there. All right, back in a sec, and the mats will be set up. We're ready to go here. I filled out my log sheet. Escort group B2, Lieutenant Commander Joe Hex is the SOE. We have finished the prepare to play card here. Everything on this has been completed. I've got my escort group marker in Londonderry. I've laid out all my ships and crew. We do get a Type 271 radar, and I put it on the H-class boat, which is the flagship. And we also have HFDF, or HFDF, high frequency direction finding. So we have that as well. So then these cards are kind of a neat assistant to play because you go through the entire gameplay here. So as long as you've read the rules, these provide a nice little reminder so you don't forget steps, which is very useful for me. And I think, if I remember correctly, Greg Smith included the same kind of thing in the Western Front Ace, I think it was. Anyway, I think it's a great addition to the game. So our next one is Escort Mission Start. So we have to get a mission from A1A or A1B. So you might say, well, what is that? Well, those are charts, of course. So here's the chart. A1A is when you're at Londonderry, which is where we are, and A1B is when you're at St. John's. So St. John's is here. That's in Newfoundland. So we're going to roll our 2d6 and just add them together. So we have our 2 dice rather, and we get a 9. Oh, mistake, sorry. We roll 1 die, and we got a 6. So a 6 is a small convoy. So we take our small convoy counter here, and on the flip side is large convoy, and you can see the columns of ships. So this would be a small convoy with fewer ships, obviously, and you put that on your east OMP, which I believe is Ocean Meeting Point, or Oceanic Meeting Point, something like that. Anyway, once that's done, you enter your mission on the log sheet. Place your escort marker on East OMP or West OMP. Place convoy size marker on the escort group display mat. Okay, so we will move on to our next card, which is card 2. Conduct mission, move escort group to the next travel box. Now technically you could probably just start here I think. But we'll start there. Now we would roll for encounters. Now one thing you see here are these various boxes and then these arcs here. So these boxes are they're all marked with a C because that means we're within range of the FW 200 from Norway, which would basically find the convoy and then follow it, so to speak, and radio its position to U-boats so that they could attack it. Now, one thing I forgot to check actually is if we have any air support of our own, because you have the air gap here, and then over here you would be within range of air cover from Canada. But in this area, there's no air coverage at all available, and within here where you have your C, you could, if you have air cover, whether it's an escort carrier or what they call the catapult. It's a CAM catapult. Basically, it's a merchant ship that has a catapult on it with a hurricane fighter that they considered expendable. So they would launch the hurricane fighter to chase the Condor off or shoot it down, and then the pilot would ditch in the ocean, and they would hopefully rescue the pilot, and he would just journey on with the convoy as it made its way across the ocean. So to determine whether we have that, we have to roll for it. All right, so here's the chart. So we have a CAM ship until August of 42, and then we get long-range air from August 42 on, and then possible escort carrier support from 343 on. So you can see here we roll 2d6, and the 2, 3, 6, 8, and 11 would indicate we would get close air support. So we'll roll 2 D6s, and we got a 10, and a 10 is no. So we do not have any air support, which would be indicated right here. There's a CAM ship box on there. So we do not have that. So now we would roll for our encounter, and that works the same way and is very familiar if you played the Hunters. You roll this, and if we get a 2, there's a Condor, 4 is a wolf pack, 9, 11, and 12 are U-boats. And we get a 7, which is nothing. So we move to our next box here. Just put this here. A 9 is a U-boat. So we have an encounter with a U-boat now. We go to card 3, encounters. Okay, so if a 12 is rolled, consult random events. If a U-boat or wolf pack is rolled, go to card 4, which is what we're going to do next. And then you have an event for the instructions for if you roll a Condor. Okay, combat prep. Determine day-night for the first combat cycle. 1d6, 1 to 3, or 4 to 6. So we'll roll our die. Got a 1. That would be day. We're going to put that on a chart here, and I'm going to show you the chart in a moment. So I'm looking at the card here. If the first impulse of the first cycle, only place half of available U-boats. If day, U-boats either attack or send a contact report and wait. Contact reports may be detected by Huff Duff. So, and then there's night rules as well, but we are day. So we have, as we found, we have a single U-boat. So we're going to roll 1d6. A 1 to 5 will be a type 7, and a 6 will be a type 9. And that is a 3. So that would be a type 7. All right, so we have to change up the display a little bit here. So you have a tactical display. So this is our tactical display. Let me remove this. This is our tactical display, okay? So you have this is the B side, which is the small convoy, and then on the A side, the flip side of it, you can see there are 4 columns here. This is the large convoy side. So for now, we would be using this side right here. So let's set this up. Okay, so we have our tactical display set up. Now, we do have a Type 7 U-boat, and we will put that here in our available attacking U-boats box. Now, the other thing is we're still on card 4 here. So if day, U-boats either attack on a 1 or 2 or send a contact report 3 to 6 and wait. Contact reports may be detected by Huff Duff. So let's roll 1 die. And they get a 5, which means they will attack. They will send a contact report, So now if we go to the next card, which is the detection card, you can see attempt to detect with HFDF or HuffDuff all U-boats that send a contact report. Okay, I forgot a step. We have to roll for the placement of our U-boat. 2d6, we get a 6 and a 3, that is 9, which is actually not a great roll for us, and I'll explain why in a moment. So our U-boat is out on this side of the convoy over here, because 9 to 11 is here, 6 to 8 is here, 2 and 12 are from the rear, and 3 to 5 are from the left. So he's out on the right. Should also roll our weather, which is here. We're going to roll 1d6. We got a 3, which is fair. So fair weather has no effect. Now you have a -1 DRM November through January. The game begins in February, so we do not have to worry about that either. So we have fair weather, which has no combat effect at all. So because now, as I mentioned before about him being over here being bad for the convoy, is that our flagship here, the H class, has the radar, and it can see out front but not the sides. So that gives our U-boat a free shot from that aspect, but the convoy is equipped with HFDF, which allows it to lock in on the contact report that the U-boat sent. So now we need to check to see if we intercepted that contact report, and that would allow us to attack the U-boat. And I need to figure out which one of these he's actually in. So if it's 1 to 3, it would be C, and if it is 4 to 6, it'll be D. It's a 1, so he is in C where I had him, so that worked out okay. Now we can roll our HuffDuff detection attempt, 1 to 3, and it's a 2, so we detected him. We'll mark him as having sent a contact report. And now we can attack him. So all the U-boat counters have a flip side that says detected. So we will put him on the detected side here. And now we can move our any escorts we want to attack this U-boat right now. So with that in mind, we're going to take the Flower class here, and we're going to move it up, have it share the escort box there with, which is C, I believe. Yeah. To share that with our destroyer, and they'll both attack. Now, it's only one attack, but basically I think what this really gives you is an opportunity. If the U-boat survives and attacks the escort and sinks it, you still have another escort there adjacent to it. And now the Flower would give it a -1 DRM because of having moved in there. So here is our chart. We're going to roll on this chart here, and you have things here as far as modifiers. Our destroyer is a V class, so that does not apply, and there's no other modifiers yet because we have not attacked. It's not nighttime, and we have not yet attacked it. This is our first attack, so we will roll our 2d6, and we got an 8, and an 8 -1 is a 7. That applies 2 hits. Now there is a U-boat target chart as well, which I have not laid out yet, but I'm going to do that right now. Okay, our next step is to roll for the damage. So we have 2 damage rolls to make, and we use a colored die and a white die. So the black die will be the first digit, the white die will be the second digit. We roll, we get a 23. And if we look at our U-boat damage chart, which also is like it was in the Hunters, come on, focus. 23 is diesel engine 1. So we place a damage marker on diesel engine 1. Now we'll roll again for our second damage. 33. 33 is hull as well. Now we have to roll for detection again on chart B3. which is our detection chart. So we detect on 9 to 11, and 12 plus you get a detection plus 1 on the attack. So it's 42, so we automatically get 2. We did hit the the engine and the hull, so none of these others will apply. We're not at close range. We're not either of these. The escort moved, but we have 2 escorts, so that cancels out. So we just get a +2 on our die roll. So I'll just keep the black die since it's already here. We get a 5, so 5 plus 2 is only a 7, so that means the U-boat is now undetected, so the U-boat will get to attack, which is kind of good because now you'll get to see how that part of the game works. So we go to card 7, which is U-boats versus convoy. Undetected U-boats attack. Roll for range. 1 or 2 is close, 3 or 4 is medium, 5 or 6 is long. All right, so we roll 1 die. We'll use the black. 6, long range. So we will move our, now flipping back to undetected, we'll move him to long range. And he gets to attack, roll for 3 targets. So we roll on chart C1 to determine what our targets are. So here is our target chart, and we're on this one because it's long range. So you can see we roll 2d6, and this will tell us what we're gonna attack here. So let's roll our 2 dice. We get a 10. A 10 is largest 4T asterisk. If night, this is a night surface attack. It's not night. Although I did forget to roll for day-night, which is my bad. I think I had to do that. Maybe I don't. I don't know. This is one of those gray areas where I don't remember from the rules, so we're just going to push on and say that it's daytime. So the 4T means the largest target by tonnage will receive all 4 torpedoes and the other 2 ships are ignored. So now we have to roll for the target types. So here are our target sizes. 1 to 3 is small, 4 to 5 is large, 6 is a tanker. So let's roll here. We'll roll 3 times. 4 is a large tanker. 3 is a small tank, a large freighter rather. 4 is a large freighter, 3 is a small freighter, and the second 3 is a small freighter. So we have 2 small freighters and a large freighter. Just as we did in the Hunters, we have a table with targets here. So it's the same kind of thing where you roll D100 basically. So we'll take our 2D10s. We'll use the black for the first digit, white for the second. We get a 28 here on the small freighter, so that gives us the Stratford at 4,700 tons. We'll try the next one. 82 is the Broome Park 5,000 tons, so that's our new leader in terms of size. Now we'll flip it over and do the large freighter size. And we get a 49, and a 49 is the Gregalia at 5,900. So this is our target, the 5,900 ton Gregalia. So here's our U-boat attack chart. We're going to roll on long range. 2 to 6 is a hit, 7, 12 is a miss. None of the modifiers will apply. We're not playing with the elite green, and it's not surface, it's not a second salvo, and we're not using electric, just for simplicity here. So we roll 2d6. We get a 6, which is a hit. So the first one's a hit. Second one is a 4, that is also a hit. Third one is a 4, another hit. And then we get a 9. So that's 2 hits and a miss. And now the final torpedo is a 7, that is also a miss. So you have 2 hits. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I have to roll for the damage per torpedo. So we roll 1d6. First one gives us 4, that is 1 damage. Second one gives us 4, also that is 2 damage. So as I said, that does not sink our large freighter. Now we roll to see if we detect our submarine here by our escorts. So we're going to roll 2d6, and our modifiers again, +2 for 1942, and a +1 for a previous detection gives us a 3. A -1 for long range makes it a 2. And a +1 for 2 escorts makes it a 3 again. So here we go. We get a 9, and a 9 is detected even without the +3. So now he's been detected, we get to attack him again. So we're going to roll our 2d6. We don't have any... Yeah, we don't have any modifiers here. It's a 6, which is 1 hit. So now we'll check to see what that 1 hit is. Again, we'll roll our 2d6, and it's a 63, and a 63 is forward torpedo doors, odd. So we'll do that. So we replace our damage trader in the straggler box, and we go back to rolling for detection again. So we're going to roll for detection, and that is a 8. An 8 is detected, so we get to attack him again. So we do it again on B4, and this time we've got a 5, which is 1 hit again. Now we'll check our damage. 66, fuel tank. That's a bad one. That is a bad one. Okay. So now we have to go back to detection. We got a 5, which is undetected, but let's look here at our modifiers now. We get 2 for 42, +1 for fuel tanks, that's 3, so that would be 8 right there. We got another 1 for a previous detection, that's 9. We lose 1 for long range, I guess, that's 8. And then we get 1 more for 2 escorts, which brings it back to 9, which means he is detected, and we get to attack him 1 more time. And we get an 8 this time, and an 8, let's see, we have modifiers here as well. +1 for fuel tank hit. And that is it. So that becomes a 9, which is 3 hits. So now things are getting desperate for this U-boat. He gets a 23 again, which is diesel engine number 1. Once again. So that gets flipped to in-op. And now we roll for hit number 2. 66 is fuel tank, which is in-op. And then the third hit, 65, which is hull times 2. Okay, so I think if your fuel tank is inoperative, that might force you to surface. I need to check that. Okay, so I just remembered that basically once a U-boat is damaged, it's removed from the encounter. It basically leaves or whatever. For game purposes, it's done. So I should not have even been able to attack the freighter, but I feel like it was good to show that only because that gives an example of what that might be. But in game terms, that encounter is over. We didn't sink the U-boat, but basically we damaged it enough to drive it off. So now I'm going to pause here and we will reset back to our operations and escort group display mat so that we can continue with the game. Okay, so let's resume our mission. We'll move to the next box and we will roll for an encounter. We get an 8, and an 8 is nothing, so we move to our next box and we roll for an encounter again. And we get a 9, and a 9 again is a single U-boat. All right, so let's roll for day night. 2, it is day. So we'll start off in day again. Now we'll roll for our U-boat type. It is a 2, so it is again a type 7. So we'll put our type 7 up here. Now we'll roll for whether it will attack or send a combat report. It will send a combat report. Now we have to determine its location. So we'll roll our 2d6. It is an 8. So he is going to be in approach A1 or A2. We'll roll 1 die. 1 to 3 is 1. 4 to 6 is 2. It is a 1. That is approach 1. So he will go here. We'll put our contact report next to him, so we know he made a contact report. And now we have 2 shots at detecting him because our H-class boat here, or destroyer, has the Type 271 radar, so we'll roll for detection. Since he already passed on attacking and radioed in a contact report. We'll do Huff Duff first. We need a 1 to 3. Got a 2, so he's detected via Huff Duff. Now, if we were trying to detect via radar, we would roll, and if we get a 1, he's detected, and he was not. So the radio detection finding saved us here. So the HFDF, as it were, has rendered our submarine detected, which means we may now attack him with both the H-class and the Flower, and neither of them have to move because they can both see approach A1. So it was lucky that I put the Flower on the left instead of the right this time. So we're going to get a little bit of a bonus on our attack for this. So we'll roll our 2d6. We get an 11, which is a good one. Now, okay, an 11 is going to be 4 hits. We have an H-class, which gives us a +1. So that makes it a 12. And I think that's it. So it's a 12. So we just missed out on getting a 13, which would have sunk him automatically. But with 5 hits, that's a lot of hits, and it also means he won't be able to attack. So that's good. So let's roll for our hits here. So again, we're going to roll the black and the white. 16 is electric motor 1. I won't put it out unless I need to. So we'll just go with it this way. Electric motor 1. Then we have 24, which is flak gun. That flak gun. And the third hit, 34, is crew injury, which doesn't really matter in this game unless you're playing it paired with the hunters, which we are not. And the fourth hit, 56, is deck gun, so we're hitting some non-critical stuff here. And last but not least, 52 is hull, so we have 1 hull damage. So as I mentioned, that renders this boat out of action. Doesn't sink him, but he's out of the game, so to speak. So here is our mat, so you can get a quick look at it. And as I said, he is now out of the game, essentially. So that is the end of the encounter. We can move all our pieces back to the other board and start rolling again for progress here. All right, so let's start moving again. That is a 6. That is nothing. So now we're in our air gap here on the map. Roll again. An 8 is nothing, as we're almost within Canadian air range of air protection here. 5 is nothing. And one more. That is a 6, which is nothing. We're at our ocean meeting point, and that means I believe that we're good. I'll roll one more just in case. There's another 6, which is again nothing, and we have arrived at St. John's. So that completes this mission. We did make it through relatively unscathed. It actually plays pretty quick if you don't mess up and have extended combat that you shouldn't, like I did. Sorry about that. Let me slide that over a little bit. So let's talk about what happens at the end of your mission once you've shepherded your charges across the Atlantic. So if we had had some damage from U-boats, we would have some of the ships may be out of action and need a refit, and so on and so forth. And then after 5 months, you can attempt to get a promotion. You can roll for that. And having sunk U-boats will increase your chances of doing things. If you sink multiple U-boats, I believe it's 3, then your crew gets advanced. Yes, for every 3 U-boats sunk, an escort's crew will increase 1 skill level. All crews start at trained, the next higher level is veteran, and the highest is elite. So that means we track our U-boat kills by escort, so by individual ship. So it's not the entire group. So you can have various levels of crew training within your group, obviously, based on which ships sink multiple U-boats. As you saw from the combat, it's not that easy to sink a U-boat. You can find yourself not easily having the ability to sink 3 U-boats, I think, which makes sense. You want the game to have some challenge to it. So that totally makes sense. So you can get promoted. Your commander can get promoted, as I mentioned, after 5 months of service, and every 5 months after that. So if you start in February, your first roll for promotion will be at the end of July of 42, and then again in December. At the end of December, you get promoted with a roll of 1 to 4, and you get a -1 DRM if you sink 3 U-boats, or your group sinks 3 U-boats, your escort group, and you get a +1 if you've lost for every 10 merchant vessels you lose. So we didn't lose any merchant vessels, and we didn't sink any U-boats either. So that was a somewhat uneventful first mission, I suppose. And, we'll see what happens. I probably will do a second mission just because there are things we didn't see. We didn't encounter a wolf pack. We didn't have the Focke-Wulf 200 Condor show up, so we didn't have to deal with that. We didn't have our catapult-assisted merchantmen, and we did not obviously have anything more advanced like hedgehogs or escort carriers or any of that stuff. So there is more to be seen with the game. So unless the views are terrible and everybody thumbs it down or post comments that they don't want to see anymore, I will be doing another video on this game. But for now, that will do it for this video. I do appreciate, as always, you guys watching, and I want to thank you for doing so. But as I said, that will do it for this one. Please consider commenting or liking or sharing, or maybe perhaps even subscribing, which is my favorite. But that's just it's a small joke with a lot of truth in it, let's put it that way. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to sign off now. My name's Joe. This is the Hexton Counter Channel. Our solo Sunday entry, Atlantic Sentinels, our first mission. We will be picking this up in a future solo Sunday entry. But for now, I will just say, until next time, as always, happy gaming.